So in today's lesson, I'm going to educate you on how to plan your workouts. All right, so first off, we need to categorize your exercises. So first, let's go ahead and categorize our exercises. So our first category is going to be the push group. The second category is going to be the pull group. The second category is going to be the squat group. The fourth category is going to be the hinge group. The fifth category is going to be the core group. Okay, so we're going to have 5 categories to choose from as we exercise. So if you're going to choose 5 total exercises a workout, I would choose push, pull, squat, hinge, and core exercises. Now, each of these categories can be broken down into B list scenarios where instead of pushing, you could do some pressing. Instead of pulling, you do some rowing. Instead of squatting, you could do some lunges. Instead of hinging, you could do some hip lifts. Okay, instead of core exercises, now we're going to have to categorize core. So this is where we're going to go ahead and do, we'll have a core group, but you can have different sides. So for instance, you could have front, back, and then you're going to have your C sides. Now, C list for the other categories as well. Push, press, dips would be another exercise. Pull, row, any type of scapular work or rotator cuff work would be next. So anything like anything with your shoulders. Squat, lunges, or any type of lateral squat would be next. And then we have our hinge hip lifts, and then our single leg deadlifts. And then we have back, sides, and we'll go D is going to be the diagonal aspect of the core. And we're going to have D lists for the other exercises as well. So now we can get into things like triceps here. For the pull, we can get into things like biceps. Okay, for the squat matrix, we can get into things like adductors and abductors. For the hinge, now we can get into things like calves. So thinking about the back of the leg here, maybe even the front or the tibs. And then your diagonal pattern for your core, okay? So you have front core, back core, side core, and diagonal core. You have hinging lifts, hip lifts, single leg deadlifts, calves, and tibs. Squats, lunges, lateral squats, adductors. You could also just put one leg squats in here as well. You have pulls, rows, scap rotators, and biceps, push, press, dips, and triceps. So basically you have your 5 categories of exercises, but there can be other exercises you can choose within these 5 categories. But as long as you have these 5 categories, you know what exercise to choose next, okay? All right, now let's just say we are going to the gym and we're wondering how we should structure our exercises. So there's different ways you can do that, and we're going to talk about each approach now. So these are the categories of exercises. All right, we have push, pull, squat, hinge, and core. Basically, push is going to be front, upper. Pull is going to be back, upper. Squat is going to be front, leg. And hinge is going to be back of leg. So things like your hamstrings and glutes, things like your quads, things like your lats, scaps, rhomboids, that type of thing, traps, and then chest, and then you can also put tricep, bicep for the back. Okay, so this is what we mean by categories of exercises. Now we're going to go over categories of training templates. So what template will you choose to exercise in? All right, so most people are gonna go for the linear approach. Okay, some people, and like myself, will do the randomized approach. Some systems will do the pyramid approach. Other systems will focus on a 9-block system or a 10-block system. And so we're going to go over each of these training templates with you next. So we have the linear approach, the randomized approach, the pyramid approach, the blocked approach, the 9-block approach, and then the 10-block approach. Okay. The pyramid can also be broken down as well, and we'll talk about how that's all going to work. The linear approach, this is going to be the most common. So this is going to be most common. So we'll talk about that first. This is my preferred. This is going to be more for strength and power. And the blocked approaches are going to be more for athletes and higher level learners. All right, so we have the linear approach, and each box represents each exercise. So each exercise has a category: push, pull, squat, hinge, and core. And so most people will, categorize their exercises. If it's a push day, they're only going to do push exercises, right? If it's a pull day, they're only going to do pull exercises. If it's a leg day, they might only choose squat and hinge exercises. If it's a shoulder day, that's where we can talk about, how that's part of the back and it's how it's part of the front. So you're hitting shoulders when you hit chest, and you're hitting shoulders when you hit back. And you can also specifically hit shoulders. So we can put an E here and get into things like traps here on the back side, and on the front side you can get into things like front delts, or you could even get into serratus anterior. And what these exercises are, these are kind of more accessory exercises on the D, E, and F zone. And then you have more of your primary is going to be here. These are going to be your secondary zones here. See, we're creating zones. What are we prioritizing? Primary exercises. What primary exercises? Push, pull, squat, hinge, and core. So when we're exercising in a linear fashion, let's just say we're working out 1 day a week, and it's going to be full body. What do we want to do? We want to go push, pull, squat, hinge, and core. Okay, so we want to order it. We could do it in that order, or we could go upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body. We could do upper body, lower body, core. We can do a combination of things. So let's just say we're doing our general warm-up of 10 minutes on the treadmill at a speed of 3.8 miles per hour at a fast, brisk walk. After that, we're going to get straight into our workout. The first exercise, we're going to do a push. So that's going to be an upper body exercise, upper body push. Next exercise, we're going to do lower body. We're going to do lower body squat. Then we're going to do upper body pull. So we have our pull, push, squat. Now I'm going to go, what do you think? Exactly. I'm going to go to my hinge. So I'm going to go lower body, hinge. Now these are my top 4 exercises. I want to make sure I get those in first. Okay. Then I'm going to go into things like core, and then I might follow that pattern up one more time. Upper, lower, upper, lower. Okay, so I could choose front, side, diagonal, or back core here, and then go back to the upper, lower, upper, lower. Now I could do something like a dip here. I could do something like a lunge. I could do something like a row, and I could do something like a hip lift here. Okay, push, this could be a bench press, this could be a front squat, this could be a pull down, and this could be a single leg reach or a single leg deadlift, or just a regular goblet, trap bar or kettlebell deadlift. So this is how we would set up our exercises. Most people, okay, if we had 10 exercises, we could do another core at the end there. So let's just say we did back core here. We could do front core here. And so basically what we're trying to do, if we're doing one full body workout per week, this is what I would prioritize: push, pull, squat, hinge, and core exercises. And if you're gonna do 5 total exercises, I would do those 5 total exercises. If you can fit in 10 total exercises, which is a lot of volume, especially if you're a beginner, so that's why I'd only probably do 1 to 5 for beginners, phase 1. So this is your first 4 weeks. And then phase 2, you can add in maybe 6, 7, and 8. And then phase 3, you can begin to have 10 total exercises. And so after 12 weeks, you'll be able to do 10 exercises per workout. Okay, so here's the randomized approach. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 approach here. So this is where you can do a single set, superset, single set, superset, tri-set, single set. So this allows you to have flexibility. So let's just say you do a bench press here. You might do a row and then a core exercise. Then you might do, if it's a full body day and you did bench press here and you already did another upper body exercise, now we might be a squat pattern, okay? Because you might not want to do squat here. You could, because it's lower body, it would make the most sense. Or you could just be saving up for your lower body for that 4th exercise. I don't know why you do that. So maybe you would do squat here, and then maybe this 4th exercise, maybe you're just doing triceps. So this is where it can be kind of a little bit random, right? Then you might just do like a tricep exercise, like overhead tricep, just to do something more of an accessory type. It's gonna be less demanding than something like a primary or secondary exercise. So you might use these as like a rest break, and then you might have a tough superset like a pull down and a deadlift. Then you might do 3 easy exercises. So if you're doing a tri-set, you want to think accessory. If you're thinking superset, you want to think secondary. If you're thinking single set, think primary, unless it's like a break, and then I would go back to accessory. So this is the randomized approach. Then you have the pyramid approach. This is more for strength individuals. So this is where you're prioritizing your first exercise. Let's just say you work out 3 days a week. You might do bench, deadlift, and squat for those 3 days. And you might do bench 1 day, squat 1 day, and deadlift on the 3rd day. And you would prioritize it. So this is gonna be probably 5 to 8 sets, really. So you're really focusing on that first exercise. And really your second 2 exercises, this can be a superset or it can be single sets, but then these would be more in the secondary zone. And then this would be more accessory. And then if you want to do a 4-circuit accessory exercise at the end, like triceps, biceps, and core, that would be fine. But that's only if you get there. This really emphasizes 6 total exercises, which is basically 1 more than we have here, which is push, pull, squat, hinge, and core. So you do push, pull, squat, hinge, core, core, or you could do something similar to that: upper body, lower body, upper body, upper body, lower body, core. See how that works? So if I do upper body, lower body, upper body, upper body, lower body, core. Okay? Blocked approach: upper body, lower body, core, lower body, upper body, core, upper body, lower body, core. So this would emphasize upper body that day, since I did it twice, the first set. Okay, that meaning that whatever your first set is in a tricep,